Bitcoin. This is Bob Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels, and the Fibonacci's. It is Thursday, the 15th of April. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 63.016 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 64.727. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 64.500s. So barring an extended rally on, they expect that first major resistance level, and yesterday's new swing high 64.829 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Bitcoin target 68,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 66.539. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 61.204 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub-60s. Second major support level sits at 59.493. Looking at the MACDs, we've had a narrowing of the bearish histograms, suggestive of some upside ahead, so need to keep an eye out for a bullish cross. On the EMAs, 50s moved away marginally from the 100 and the 200, but inconclusive early in the morning. So key through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 63.016 and back through to 64.500s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Across to Ethereum against US dollar, it's been a mixed start to the day. Going to need to Ethereum avoid the pivot at 23.88 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 24.92. We'll need support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from this morning's new swing high, 24.49.99. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect the first major resistance level and resistance at 2500 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ethereum targets 2600 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2551. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 2328 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 2200 levels. Second major support level at 2224 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram after yesterday's late bullish cross, supporting late upside yesterday and pointing towards further upside this morning. So need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, the 50 is also pulling away from the 100 and the 200, another bullish indicator. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 2388 and break back through this morning's new swing high 2449.99 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. Across to Litecoin against the US dollar, bearish start to the day here. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 273 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 289. We'll need support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's new swing high 283.2. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 290 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Litecoin target the second major resistance level at 300 before any pullback. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level of 262 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should still well clear of the second major support level, sitting at 245. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram at the start of the day, but nothing suggestive of a sell-off. Keep an eye on that early on. On the EMAs, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, also inconclusive. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 273 and break out from yesterday's new swing high at 283.2 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fallback through the pivot at 1.7832 to take a run at the first major resistance level, say at 2.0210. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's new swing high, 1.96598. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ripple's XRP target resistance at 2.2 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2.2038. Before back through the pivot at 1.7832, we'll bring the first major support level at 1.6004 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 1.5 and the second major support level at 1.3626. The 23.6% fib at 1.5426 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a marked narrowing of the bearish histograms, and we could see a possible bullish cross, so keep an eye on that early this morning. On the EMAs, 50s holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, inconclusive early on. So key through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 1.7832 and break out from yesterday's new swing high, 1.96598, to bring 2.0 levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play.